Welcome, everyone, to another deep dive. Today, we're diving into a story that's really quite something. A cautionary tale, you might say, about a giant. Kodak. I mean, for generations, that name was photography, wasn't it? The yellow box capturing memories. They basically owned the family album. So the big question is, how does a company like that, so dominant, just collapse? Especially, and this is the kicker, when they actually invented the very thing that took them down. It's fascinating.
It really is. And, their power came from this brilliant business model, the classic razor and blades idea. The cameras, the razor, they were pretty affordable, right? Got them into everyone's hands.
Right.
But the blades, that was the film. And the developing, every single picture meant more money for Kodak, again and again. It was like a constant river of gold. They were masters of the chemistry, the silver halide stuff that made film work. And honestly, they were absolutely convinced it would just go on forever.
Just totally sure of themselves. Sitting up there in Rochester, New York, in their fortress built on film.
Yeah, basically on top of the world. They couldn't imagine anything changing.
But then, the change started inside their own walls. 1975. There's this young engineer, Steven Sasson, and he builds this thing. Kind of a monster, really. Toaster size, apparently. Used a movie camera lens, a cassette recorder, and this brand new sensor.
The world's first digital camera.
Took 23 seconds for one grainy black and white picture.
Imagine that. So Sasson, he takes this filmless photograph, as he called it, to the Kodak executives. You'd expect maybe some excitement, some awe.
You would, wouldn't you? But
no. What they felt was probably cold, creeping dread. Their reaction was essentially, that's cute, don't tell anyone about it.
Wow. Just dismiss it.
Well, think about it. This invention, Sasson's baby, it was like a dagger aimed right at the heart of their entire business, their kingdom. It was instant, reusable, free, basically, after you bought the camera. It completely bypassed their film, their chemicals, their printing, everything.
It's like you said, the kingdom built on horses, inventing the car and then just locking it in the garage.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Terrified it would ruin the horse trade.
So what did they actually do, besides telling Sasson to keep quiet?
Well, they patented it. Smart move, I guess, to own the technology, but then they buried it, just locked it away in the corporate dungeon, so to speak.
They made that fatal choice. Protect the present, the golden present, instead of, bravely inventing the future.
That's the crux of it. And for, the next 2 decades, they just doubled down, poured billions into making film better, fancier. They did have that sort of half step, the photo CD, remember that? Trying to bridge the gap, but it was clumsy.
Yeah, I vaguely recall those. But it wasn't enough, was it? The ghost, the digital ghost, it got out anyway.
It absolutely did. Companies like Canon, Sony, they didn't have a film empire to protect. They saw digital and they just ran with it, full speed ahead.
And you, the customer, you see this, right? Why stick with film? You could see your pictures instantly. Take hundreds for basically nothing. Share them across the world in seconds.
Exactly. Consumers aren't sentimental about business models. They want the better thing. And digital was, clearly the better, more convenient thing.
So Kodak eventually tried to catch up.
They did, yeah. But they stumbled into the digital race years too late. They were still thinking like a chemical company, trying to speak this new digital language they had ignored for so long. It was just too little, way too late.
And that river of gold, it just dried up. The fortress crumbled. And then 2012, the giant falls. Bankruptcy. The company that invented the digital camera. Killed by its own invention. It's incredible.
It is. What's really striking is that they literally held the seed of the future, the seed of the new world, right there in their hands. But instead of planting it, nurturing it, they buried it. And, others came along and reaped that incredible harvest.
Makes you think, doesn't it? What valuable seeds might you be holding on to right now? Maybe burying them because you're clinging to your own golden present. Maybe a little afraid of the future. What opportunities might be passing you by just because embracing change feels risky? Something to definitely mull over.